What I'm about to say is a true story involving real people, places, and events. Now, some names have been changed to protect the innocent, but the story, that's as real as it gets. This is told from my perspective, aka my side of the story. Although others involved may remember things slightly different from their vantage point, the fact still remains that really happened. How I snuck in to see Prince on the other side of the world. Back around 2007, I believe, I started working with a company called Spirit Productions. They did these big music review shows all over the world, mainly Canada, London, Monaco, and the US. I toured with their Motown show called Solid Gold Motown in Canada and Monte Carlo. And I just signed on to go back to Monte Carlo in a show called Rock Around the Clock. It was a high-energy, fast-paced roller coaster of a show down memory lane of early rock and roll, complete with a big finale with one of the top Elvis impersonators in the world. So typically, we would perform 6 to 7 nights per week at the Summer Sporting Festival in Monaco at this beautiful, beautiful venue called the Sporting Club. It sits right on the edge of the beach, right there by the water, and it's like it's a round building, but it's not exactly theatering around. I mean, it's like a 180 degree in front of the stage. And all of those windows open up and all of the ceiling opens up. For all inside the theater, you're able to just look out and see the Mediterranean just crashing against the rocks, or just to look up and see all the stars in the night sky. And this is while you're performing. I literally felt like I was performing for God. And for those on the neighboring beaches, they could just sit on the beach and literally listen to the show as clear as day, because when those windows and that roof opened up, all the sound just went out into most of the country. And that's what people would do. People would come in from Nice, Cannes, wherever. They would catch a train and just sit on the beach and enjoy a free show. So the combination of a beautiful country and that beautiful venue had me very excited, but that wasn't the main thing. This is what I was really excited about.
This is it. These will be my final show performances in London. This will be it. This is it. And when I say this is it, it really means this is it. I'll see you in July.
That's right. Michael Jackson had just announced his residency at the O2 Arena in London in July. That would be during the same time I was going to be in Europe, in Monaco. So you already know what's up. And even though we were not supposed to leave the country during our run and all of that, I checked the flight costs and the times, and it was a short flight. It was going to be so easy to dip in and dip out. There was no way I could pass up the opportunity to see MJ on his last tour. I have never, ever seen him live before. For me, it was MJ, Prince, and Stevie all day. No way I was going to be in Europe, just a hot skip and a jump away, and not go see him. And then this happened. So, needless to say, I missed that window. I lost that chance. And it was so unexpected. Like there was a glitch in the Matrix that day, and like a huge glitch. And it seemed like a mistake, you know? So this cast was considerably larger than the cast of the Motown show I had previously toured with. And I was blessed to have one of my good friends, Mr. Andre Washington, singer extraordinaire, in this show with me. The chemistry of the whole cast was something I had never experienced before. Like, everybody truly got along off stage, and on stage, we created magic. I remember one day, the two of us and one of the singers from London named John hit it off during rehearsals when we were supposed to be off in a separate area somewhere going over vocal arrangements or whatever. We didn't do much arranging or rehearsing, but instead ended up bonding over music, particularly Prince. Man, he pulled up his iTunes and had stuff on there I had never heard before. Rehearsal recordings, live shows, and secret unreleased albums. I mean, I didn't feel like a Prince fan at all compared to him. I felt like I was just, a casual listener. I mean, that's how deep John was. So the sporting festival was a summer-long music festival. I think it has something to do with soccer. I'm not sure what the sporting part comes in, but they would bring in acts from all over the country to perform at different stages. And the main venue, the sporting club, that's where we would perform 6 nights a week. And then on Saturdays, we would have a night off because they would bring in a huge international act to perform. So because we were like the resident show at the sporting festival, it seemed like the promoters in Monaco kind of treated us as second-class performers. We always had to enter through the back door. We were not allowed to fraternize with any of the fans from the show. Afterwards, if they wanted autographs or to take a picture, we weren't allowed to do any of that. And they didn't want us anywhere near the property on our days off. So it was disappointing to say the least when I ran into my good friend who plays with Diana Ross, and he said, "Yo, man, I can hook you up with some tickets or something, man. Just come hang out with the show." And, somebody overheard the conversation. Then I was informed by Spirit Productions that I am not allowed to be anywhere near the theater on my day off, and I cannot, under any circumstances, see Diana Ross. So we were still early in our run of the show, and we were still rehearsing at the same time and reworking and fixing things and also filming promos for the show. So I remember the week of August 10th, something weird happened. They moved all our rehearsals to the Opera House instead of the venue, and we were told we would be off on not only that Saturday as usual, but Sunday as well. And we were all like, well, is it going to affect our pay? What's happening? What's going on? All we were told is that secret guest is coming. It's a secret and secrecy. Ooh, secret. After a little prodding, one of the staff told me in their broken English that Prince coming. So my mind immediately went to that guy, Prince Albert. I thought he was coming to make a speech or something. He was in the news a lot while we were there about, having a black son or something. I don't know. So I thought Prince Albert of Monaco was coming to shut the sporting club down. Then one day during the week, I started noticing a lot of brothers around the hotel, and I could tell they were American. And that was weird because most of the Americans in Monte Carlo at the time was our cast. So it got me to thinking, somebody is here. Because they were clearly musicians. Musicians know musicians, and I could tell. So I'm getting on the bus to shuttle to our rehearsal location, and on the bus are 2 women from the staff of Spirit Productions. I can't for the life of me remember exactly what their roles in the company were, but we all called them the Evil Twins. And that's what we'll affectionately call them for the sake of this story. All right, so I sit in front of them on the bus and I ask Evil Twin 1, why are we off Sunday? Who's coming? And she's like, Prince is coming. And I was like, Prince Albert? And she put that evil laugh that she always does in there. Prince Albert? What's he gonna do? Make a speech? No, Prince is coming. And I was like, the Prince? She was like, yes, and you can't go. And they just made sure to tell me and reiterate to me the rule about I can't be anywhere near it. Don't even think about it. Don't even get it in my head. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going. After what had just happened with Michael Jackson, there is no way that I'm not going to do any and everything in my power to get up in that show. So I told Dre and John that I had confirmation who the secret guest was, and it was Prince, and that Prince was coming, and Andre was like, yo, Bishop, you know we got to get up in that joint. Yo, bruh, we going to this show, bruh. And I was like, you know what? You're right, man. We got to do everything we can. So the plan is to get to some of the entourage or the band members that we had seen around the hotel and try to get some passes or whatever. Or I was calling back home and Skyping and messaging. And this is 2009. So it's not these, all of this unlimited data we have now. This stuff costs money trying to get in touch with people. So I was trying to find out anybody who knew who the current configuration of Prince's band was and who knew somebody who could get me in touch and all of that stuff. And we were working and trying to work this thing. We had already lost days because we didn't know who was coming. And we were just striking out at every end. Even one day I was coming out of my room at the same time this concierge was delivering dry cleaning to a woman across the hall from me. And she was saying thank you and telling him something else. And she was clearly American. So I said to her, hey, you with Prince, right? She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, man, I'm from L.A. My name is L. I'm performing in a show at the Sporting Club on Sunday through Friday. But they told us that we're off this Sunday because you guys are in there. And I was wondering, do you have any hookup on the tickets or anything? And she was like, no, I'm just the wardrobe lady. I don't have that kind of power. And they're being prudish assholes anyway. I forgot my laminate and I'm clearly with the entourage coming off the bus and we're all trying to go in together and they wouldn't even let me in. So I got so frustrated. I just decided to work from my hotel room today. I didn't want to deal with them anymore. So good luck. Yeah, I know how could be down at the Sporting Club. So I definitely get it. At this point, it's about Friday, and it looks like it's going to be a no-go, but Dre is insistent that he saw us in this concert. But we just kind of ran out of options, and we just settled with going down to the beach on the rocks with everybody else and listening to the concert outside. As we were trying to find a good spot, no, this rock. Oh, yeah, we can go down. Oh, we can get closer here. Yeah, let's go. As we're doing all of that, I could just see Dre getting increasingly more agitated. And finally I said, yo, what's wrong, bro? And he's like, dude, this is not it. This is not it, fam. I'm telling you, this is not it. I saw us in this concert. And when I say I saw us, bro, I saw us. I prayed to God about this. And he showed me, bro, that we were in this concert. This is not it, L. I just can't accept this. This is not it. And when I looked at the passion in his eyes, when he was telling me that, I knew that this wasn't it. And we had to do something about it. So at this point, forget the beach, forget the rocks. We coming up with a plan. We getting in that joint some type of way. So we know that property in and out. We're there all the time. And so there's these hedges that cover the back of the staging area. And we know that back door is always open. It's never, ever locked when we go there. So if we can just get over the hedges, then we can figure it out from there. So we proceed to walk over there, and then we see all the cop cars that they got out there patrolling traffic, and then we see all the cops that got on the sidewalk blocking driveways and entrances. And just as we're about to make that right turn into that driveway that leads to those hedges, there's a cop there with a walkie-talkie up to his mouth, looking us dead in the face, talking on that joint. So we're like, abort. We all do this pivot with our legs like we're doing a dance move from the show to change our direction and make it look like we weren't really trying to go up in there, but we couldn't go backwards because we would look extra suspicious. So we just kept walking straight until we reached the Monte Carlo Bay Hotel, which sits right in front of the sporting club. So we walked through the casino floor, through the restaurant to the back patio, and who do we run into? It's the Evil Twins sitting there with Elvis, right? And they're like, "What are you doing here?" And we're like, "No, we're just hanging out." "You better not be trying to go see Prince." We're like, no. We just chilling. We just, hanging out. "Oh, I was about to say, because you're not allowed, but we have tickets." Okay, why y'all get to go? And why Elvis get to go? Elvis in the cast with us. Why Elvis get to go, but we don't get to go? So I was pissed, right? So Dre and John sit down and kind of engage them in some playful conversation and small talk. And I'm sitting there surveying the land and noticing there's no security and how we can walk straight back to the sporting club building. And I'm trying to figure out a way. And that's when I see these two gorgeous young ladies sitting at a table having a cocktail. And one is lighting a cigarette and she's staring right at me. I mean, I'm cute. I know it's the eyelashes and everything, but dang, the way she was staring, I'm like, and these women were gorgeous, like two Sades. For the sake of this story, that's what we're gonna call them, Sade 1 and Sade 2. So Sade 1 looks at me, because the stare was so awkward, I had to just look back at her, and she looks and she says, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Huh? Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from LA. She said, "Oh, I could tell." I'm like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "We're from New York." But the accent. So she went on to tell me they're originally from France, but they went to school in New York. And I asked them, were they there with Prince? Because I just figured, these two beautiful women. And she said yes, but their luggage was sitting with them at the table. Apparently, they hadn't been in touch with Prince since they landed, and they didn't have a place to stay, and they were a little desperate. They were trying to get in touch with someone. At first, she thought maybe I was someone with Prince's entourage, which was probably the reason she was staring and not my eyelashes. But it was clear that Prince had invited them down. So that's when I went into bargaining mode. I was like, "You know what? You can stay at the El Hermitage in my room, and I'll crash in my boy Andre's room for the night. That way you guys got a place to stay. All I ask is that, you get us into the show." I just knew this was it. I just knew that I struck gold. It's out of nowhere. We just bump into these girls. I just knew that this was our way in. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, that's so nice. That sounds like a great plan. I think we're going to take you up on that, but we don't have tickets ourselves. We have not spoken to anyone, so I can't make you that promise right now." Damn. So we just exchanged information. I told her if they figure anything out, they talk to someone, just, give me a call and we'll figure it out. So the Evil Twins and Elvis go off into the distance. They walk to go to the sporting club. It's getting close to showtime. We wait till they're out of our sight line and we follow behind and go to one of the restaurants that is connected to the actual venue. So we're sitting at the restaurant, kind of having a drink and just sitting there kind of dejected and wondering, "Dad, can we get any closer than this?" And I decided, you know what, man, let's not give up yet. Let's still try. I'm going to go upstairs and go to the restroom and do a little recognizance mission, because we knew, being in that theater all the time, that the restaurants and the theater all shared the same bathrooms. So you're allowed to go up there. And when you go up the steps and go to the restroom, the doors to the entrance of the theater are like feet away. And so I went up there and I noticed they had a coat check set up and they had coat rentals set up. And I saw 4 security guards, 2 on the door, 2 kind of checking for tickets or wristbands or whatever. And I kind of got a lay of the land and all of that. So I came back downstairs and I told the guys, "Man, security's pretty tight." And I saw a sign that said jacket required. And we were in beachwear, remember, because we had decided that we were going to go down on the beach and listen to the show on the rocks. So we had on shorts and casual t-shirts, but everyone upstairs had on tuxes and suits and designer dresses, minx furs, that sort of thing. So we surely stuck out like a sore thumb. So kind of dejected. I was like, man, I don't know what to do. At this point, John and Dre had joined conversation with a lady sitting right next to us at the bar who happens to be from Texas. And she was nice, and she was telling us about the company and how she got over there. And we told her, we're trying to get into the show. Do you have any tickets? She was like, tickets? Yeah. No, they're not doing tickets. You got to have one of these. And she showed us the wristband. She was like, you got to have the wristband. And she said they're being so strict. If you don't have one of these, they don't care if you went to the restroom and lost it. They will not let you come back in. So we knew that. And so that was even like another blow. So we're kind of drowning our sorrows in our drink, kind of got our heads down. And then we hear, as soon as that first chord hit, John lifted his head up and looked at me and looked at Dre, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's go time. We got to do something. He's starting with Purple Rain. Oh my God. Okay, so we get up. We say, man, forget it. Let's just go for it. We walk up the steps. We're going up the steps, and I'm telling John, I was like, go to coat check. Go to your right. Go to coat check. Go to coat check. We go to coat check. And we're asking the lady about a rental. She says, sorry, all out, no more coats, there's no more jackets for rent. So that's a no-go. And then all of a sudden, this big commotion just breaks out at the door. There's all these French expletives flying everywhere. And everybody's arguing, it's pushing and shoving. There's a guy that comes from inside the theater out. He's trying to grab his girl and try to get her in. Apparently, she lost her wristband and they were not having it. But at that moment, I saw that the two guards, actually three of them, were pulled away from the door, and there was only one scared guard on the door, and I knew it was go time. And just like a military sergeant, I said to the guys, go, 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 move, 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 move. And we started going towards the door. And we are like in a triangle. John is in front and me and Dre are flanking him on each shoulders. And we're almost to the door. John is reaching out for the handle and almost got the handle. And then the scared security guard, whose attention was on all the melee, reverted his attention back to us and stopped John with a stiff forearm and said, bonds, looking for the bands on our wrists. And John, without missing a beat, looks at the man and says, bonds? Bonds? These guys don't need no freaking bonds. These are Prince's session singers, for crying out loud. And I'm their manager. You know what happened? The guy looked at us and said, oh, sorry, excusez-moi, and opened the door and ushered our asses right into the show. Oh my God, we can't believe it. We just walked in the front door and we get like 2 steps in and all that purpleness hits John and he freezes like the light of Jesus hit him and he just stiffens up. And there's one more guard right there on the inside and he doesn't see any bands and he looks at the other guard and the other guard's like, no, they're fine. And so he steps out the way and I'm poking John in his back. I'm like, man, stay in character, Wake up, go. John finally snaps out of it. We walk the extra few steps and now we are all the way in and we getting to see Prince perform Purple Rain right there, less than 3 to 6 feet from us. We didn't have any seats or a table or anything like that, so we're just standing down there in the front where all the expensive tables are, right? And we're talking about the snooty rich people. And if you've ever performed in this region of the world, you'll know that French people, they sit on their hands while you're performing. You don't get much applause. You don't get much reaction during the performance. But when the performance is over, they'll give you a standing ovation and throw flowers on the stage, and that just shows you that they appreciated the show. But during the show, it could be a little dead. And so we were watching Prince, and we could see Prince was just agitated about this. Prince was mad at everything. He kept telling him to turn the spotlight off of him. He's like, it ain't nothing to see up here. Turn off that light. And he kept turning his back. He was just not feeling it. And the crowd was just so uptight. But we was just down there having a ball. And it was this awkward moment where this silence had happened before a song and Prince was fiddling with the guitar pedal trying to find the right patch for the next song. And I just yelled out, Prince, we all the way here from LA to see you, baby. We got you. And Prince looked dead at me and gave me that what's up head nod. For 0.8 seconds, I was Prince's little I'm not even lying, like 0.8. I didn't go all the way into boy slave. That would have been like 2 seconds, but 0.8 was pushing it. And I was just gone. And then Prince got into this next song. It's like he wasn't agitated anymore. And we got super hyped and we started dancing. And then all the French ladies was like, oh my God. And they was clutching pearls and shit. And then all of a sudden they got up and they started dancing and the whole freaking place turned into a huge party. All because of us. Prince started calling people all up on the stage. It was all filled with women and stuff. The two Sade's was up there. They was shouting us out from up on stage. He was like, hey, Sade 1, Sade 2, what's up, girl? And it was just like the whole atmosphere changed. And we were part of Prince's show. And I could look all the way in the back over where the windows were, where the people who couldn't afford the tables and they had to just stand and make a place. They're the evil twins. Just looking, just mad as hell. They looking at us like, oh, y'all so fired. And we just looking like, I don't give a So, I mean, we had a ball that night. And it wouldn't have been that way with anyone else but Dre and John. How we had bonded earlier over Prince music, just not knowing that this guy was going to be in town while we were there. And Dre's insistence that it was part of God's plan that we witnessed this on that night. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for that experience. Fast forward 2 years after that, you know, I'm in LA and I'm always in situations where I just missed him. I missed him at the 21 shows he did at the Forum just a couple of years after that. I missed him at one of the open mic spots. I always performed at, but this week I decided not to go. And he was sitting in the private room watching and he decided to jam with everybody because he was so inspired by the singers. I even missed a gig, doing a private gig where he was there and he hung out with my friends. Missed it. And then on April 21st, 2016, there was another glitch in the Matrix and we lost the purple one. So on August 16th, 2009 in Monaco, if I hadn't taken that chance, I mean, it was literally then or never. Unbelievable. Man, that really happened.